Hello, welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway podcast. I'm your host, Hannah.
And I'm Megan. Thanks for coming in, hanging out with us today. We are on episode 26.
26. I feel like the fact that there are 52 weeks in the year, and granted, we didn't start right at the beginning of January, but
Yeah.
I feel like now we're like, before we were winning because it was more weeks than like half, but now we're like half.
Yep.
So hopefully this new year we'll be able to
Well,
get more episodes out for everyone. But girls need a break sometimes. Anyway,
yes, we do.
Happy New Year, everyone. It is 2026 as we're filming this, but we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about um the concept of, do you feel like you're scrapping your holiday late? And kind of that, or playing holiday catch up, because it's January. And I don't know about you, Megan, but where are you in your process for holiday scrapbooking?
Oh gosh, I didn't even really get started.
Okay.
I'm
Have you done
still
any?
No. I mean, I started working on my cover page, but
Oh, yeah.
I am a perfectionist, I feel like. And when it comes to mixed media, I'm even more of a perfectionist,
Yeah.
even though I'm not like, and I think it's just because I don't do mixed media a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I do it and it doesn't work out the way I envisioned it the first
Yeah.
time, it's like I have to keep trying and trying and trying
Until
until I
you
get
get
it
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I get that. Well, and I had to remind you one of the days I told you, oh, you're sideways, just so you know. Everybody's all like, what? uh I know I was telling you that you have to remember that your inspiration piece that you were using was digital. Some of it was digital. I know you
yes.
had showed me a couple of things, but the
Yeah.
main thing was digital. And so I was like, yeah, you need to keep that in mind, because digital
Right.
is not going to be what it is in real life. Because even when I've done stuff with the pencil,
Hmm.
in Procreate, and there's a lot of really cool like watercolor brushes, but it's just not this quite the same. So
Right.
sometimes you can get really cool effects in
Yeah.
Procreate, but it's not the same as working. And also, I didn't know exactly what like you were wanting it to look like, if you wanted it right like that picture. So I was trying to just remind you that
Yeah.
it is
Well,
going to
and
take times to get it to be what you really want it to be.
yeah. And that's what I think I was talking to you on Voxer about, was like, I know it's digital. And so I have to remember that. But it's like,
Hmm.
being the perfectionist that I am, I'm like, I want it to look exactly like that. Like, why can't my lines just be straight? Like,
Yeah. It
so,
well,
so
and the
yeah.
bleed is different depending on how much water to
Yes.
watercolor ratio. The watercolors that you were using are the pan kind, and
Hmm.
Amy Tangerine uses those a lot. And you can get really vibrant colors and really like concentrated colors, but I feel like it leaves a little bit of, it's a thicker consistency because it is more of like that talc or something, I think is what they use for, or like a baking soda. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's more powdery. So
Mm.
because the way that it's made. And so I feel like that sometimes changes depending on how much watercolor you have on the brush, will change the way that it looks when you are putting it on the page. So,
Hmm.
and you really
Right.
don't know how that's going to look until you start playing with it, and how you want it, like how vibrant do you want it to look
Yeah.
versus bleeding and blending. That's always the what you're
Right.
thinking about when you use watercolor.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and the thing that I have enjoyed though is the more that I play with it and work with it, the more I feel like I'm learning.
yeah.
And so that's been a lot of fun. But I'm still trying to like get it down to what I like.
What you might want to do, and here's just a tip for everyone, if you get stuck on a spot that you want it to be a certain way, maybe skip it. I don't know how you are like in your brain, how things have to go, that process. But
Right.
if you skip, put it aside and say, I'm going to come back to this when I have more time to play and I don't feel rushed, right? And
Right.
work a little bit more, and maybe that inspiration as you're working through your album, you can come back to it and that'll give you a different perspective on how that's going to look.
Yeah,
That is
that's a
the
good
one
idea.
about doing a page like that later in the process of making your December daily, or at least I found, because there's been times where I've used mixed media. I don't use a lot of mixed media in my December daily, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of picky about where I use it, because what you want it to come out like, there's so much I feel like it's the pressure that you put on yourself, and that's really
Yeah.
what the episode is about, is how do you minimize that pressure that you're putting on yourself, because no one else cares. I mean, maybe people in your family love to look at your albums, and your kids will probably really love, I can see especially the little ones really love
Oh,
looking
yeah.
album and seeing like pictures of themselves. I feel like when they're little, they really like that a lot more than like my teenagers. They might look at my album if I say, "Hey, I did this." They might be like, "Yeah, sure, we want to see," but I don't think they care nearly as much.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
So, minimizing that pressure that we put on ourselves to get our projects done by like a certain time, or how we want a certain look. I know, especially one of the things that I have found as I watch other people's projects, as I'm starting mine or kind of working through mine, is, oh, mine doesn't look as cool as them. They have way more interactive things. And so how do I give myself grace and go, oh, well, I could add this other thing without feeling like I'm stealing? And I know obviously everybody's sharing it because they're like, oh, I have something really cool. Like this one lady I was watching was doing, her daughter was in like band, and so she did a whole bunch of records, and like she put her journaling on the records so you could pull them out, and like her pictures and stuff
Oh,
like that. And
cool.
it's really fun. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. And like how am I going to use that? But like, so it's like,
Right.
how does that translate to my albums?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure if someone else copied her, she would, be honored. You just give the credit where it's due. But
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
sometimes I get a little bit like into my head thinking, oh, mine doesn't look as cool as everybody else's, because I just, by the end, I'm just sticking stuff in because I'm trying to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Well, and I think like with my December daily, I think because of that pressure, I have decided during the month of December, I'm just going to enjoy the month. And
Mhm.
then if I end up scrapbooking it in January, that's great. But I mean, I don't really mind scrapbooking any time of year, like any time throughout the next year.
Mhm.
And so, and I think that has definitely helped me with that pressure aspect, like
Okay.
that, like I've just kind of taken that away. Like I don't really post a lot the month of December. And then if I post a couple things in January, then I do. But if I don't, I don't. And then I just post the next year. I just kind of update, like, this is what I did last year or whatever,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, I don't know if you noticed Christy Harriman from Christy's
Yeah.
Beautiful Life.
Yep.
She posted a bunch in November leading up to December.
I seen
And
that.
that was really fun.
I haven't watched her channel this week. So I don't know where she is, but
Yeah.
in the process, but I know that she did a lot of stuff leading up to like before December, trying to get ready, probably to hype herself up because she hasn't been scrapbooking. And I do like, that's kind of what I did last year. I didn't share my process, but it was like getting all prepped, getting all excited about all the products that I was going to use. Like where this year I waited till the last minute. It was already December by the time I got stuff. Like my album didn't come in until into December. Like my scrapbook.com, I got some stuff from scrapbook.com, and then I supplemented, I used a little bit of the kit that I made for everyone, though I haven't used any of the mixed media, and I don't know how much of it I will use because I don't know how much I want to put in. I haven't decided that part yet. When in the process do you decide like what kind of supplies or products that you want to use in your holiday scrapping?
Usually that's the first thing I do.
Okay.
I try to figure out, like, am I just going to use supplies that are in my stash, or am I going to buy new?
Yeah.
And this last year I just made a stash kit, and actually I'm like going through a bunch of my scrapbooking stuff, and I found I have like 2 or 3 stash kits. December products, like
I believe it.
tons of iris containers just filled with
Oh,
December.
I know. I
Like,
probably need an actual iris container. I need like a double iris. I don't even
I
know
was
if
gonna say,
I need like a double iris container or like a shoebox. I have some boxes, you probably can't see them, but over in the side, I have like some bigger like photo boxes that I've used kits or collections, and I need to
yeah.
do with just Christmas stuff because I have it in a drawer in my Alex drawer. But now, actually, I do have stuff in a iris container. I have 2, and it's because I have cards and papers in one, and then like embellishments and stuff in the other one. But I
Oh, yeah.
think what I have in the drawer will fit with the newer stuff. And that's not the brand new stuff that I got. That's the stuff I bought last year. Because I was moving it, I was taking it downstairs where my room is and using it to like while I was watching stuff, which I haven't really done that much of that this year. It's just been so crazy that I've decided to like take that time to be my own time with my husband when we watch movies and stuff. So I started working towards the beginning of the month. I was gonna start working on last year's album too and do them together, and now I'm like not sure. So I will say, like, for me, it kind of is like, how do I feel in the moment, and I kind of
Right.
go with that. And like, because at the beginning I had planned, I was like, oh, I'll just do them kind of side by side since I'll have everything out. But I think that feels like almost overwhelming to do 2 side by side, and then I feel like I'm gonna get confused, and then it just makes me go, oh, my ADHD,
Yeah.
like I'm like all over the place. So I'm just gonna focus on getting this year's done, and then I can either decide to keep working on last year's, or I can put that away and then come back to it. Maybe I won't come back to it in July. I'm not a big Christmas in July person. So
No.
either, but then I got thinking I could just keep working on that like in November, because I think what I decided this year is I didn't plan enough ahead of time. So I think
Yeah.
next year in November I want to start just scrapbooking, and instead of getting everything ready for I mean, I will get some stuff ready, but
Right.
mostly working on finishing that album. And then as I lead up to Christmas, because it's like Christmas hit like crazy quick for me this year, as far as like getting ready for Christmas, like getting ready for December. It was like, boom, oh yeah, it's December now. And oh, did you get an album? No. Did you get any?
Yeah.
And we were talking about stuff, and that's the part that like I don't know. I don't know. So, later is always the best time to catch up. There's no really
Right.
catch up. Can you be behind in scrapbooking? I don't know.
I
Feel
don't
like
feel
we've
like
had
you
this.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not really behind. But I will say one thing that I did this year to help if I don't finish, which I plan on finishing. I don't see why and I'm actually cool with just posting all my December daily in January. Probably all of January is going to be December daily, and people are just going to have
Yeah.
to be okay, and I'm fine with that. And if they don't like it, then they can watch it next year. It'll be there. It'll be in an album, and
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm sure people will like it. I know we're not the only ones that are still working on stuff. I still see Teresa sharing videos. I think she's on day 13 today. She was sharing.
Yeah. I
So
saw
I don't know
hers. Yeah.
the process, but she's still sharing stuff. So I think we still have a little while. And I think that's where like giving yourself grace and like it's okay to get things organized.
Exactly.
But the holidays are a really hard time. And if you have kids and you're really busy, sometimes it's hard. If you're working,
Yeah.
it's hard with everything going on to like really get a grasp to get it all done if you're not proactive enough. If you're like me and it just snuck up on
Yeah.
you, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And that's kind of what I've come to realize, like, because I remember when my kids were littler and when I first started doing December Daily, and I was like, I don't think I ever like scrapbooked the day, like kept up with it. I would just kind of scrapbook a little bit here and there, and, but the older I get and the older the kids get and everything, I'm just kind of like very chill about it, which is so interesting because I am like that type A perfectionist, but at the same time, I'm not. Like, I can totally let certain things go. It's so
this
weird.
is where flip-flop, right? December, I'm like, I want to get it done in December or mostly done in December because I know when January comes, I want to start focusing on the new year. What stuff do I like start making album or big layouts again?
Right.
Because usually by then I've did pocket pages the whole month. So then I'm like, I'm done pocket paging. And all that kind of stuff, which is funny because I plan on doing Project Life this year and I might be crazy and I might hate it because I probably will get sick of pocket pages, but I'm not sick yet. So of it. So we're just going with that. But yeah. And I like getting it done. And I don't do it necessarily right on the day. Like I never was and my kids were younger. I feel like they were younger, though. I guess we were scrapping at the same time and our kids are around the same age. So I don't know. I'm like, for a second, I was like, wait, well, your kids were a lot. Yeah. Anyway, my brain was like thinking our kids were different ages for a hot second. And I'm like, but wait, my kid, I was always doing it. Like when I was in Hawaii, I remember, every night, but I was scrapbooking differently back then. So that's the thing that I have to remind myself is this is a whole different season. And I'm not scrapbooking every night like I was before. Even in December, I was scrapbooking like almost every night.
Yeah.
I would do the holiday stuff and then go to my scrap room and create.
It's so weird to think, like, I feel like when my kids were younger, I scrapbooked more, and then now I scrapbook less. Like, well, and my life has kind of changed. Like, my kids are basically adult. I have 2 adult children. Yeah. But then, like, gained like younger kids with my marriage and everything, but like at the same time I kind of feel like the older my kids got, like the less I scrapbooked, which I guess maybe is kind of a thing because I do hear a lot of people talking about their teenagers not wanting photos taken, and so you have a lot less to scrapbook the older they get.
Yeah, well, and it's a process learning how to go from family scrapbooking to personal scrapbooking, and I feel like a lot of people in our community have a hard time doing that, like changing the focus from the family and other people to themselves. Like, and this is going to sound really bad, and I don't mean it to sound bad at all. I think we all do this at times, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we get caught up in everybody else like my kids are going to love this. My kids are going to love to see the photos. They're going to they want all the memories. No, you want to remember the memories. You want to remember all those moments. And like we get caught up in this moment where it's like, oh, I'm doing it for somebody else. When no, you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like whether you did it or not, they would, you would find a different way to remember the memories.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We did a collab this year for the holidays, and we sat and we were talking all about holiday memories, and she was looking through my albums and we were talking about December Daily a little bit and documenting the memories. And it's like you find ways to document those memories, whether it's verbal or pictures or you just have a simple album or whether you're scrapbooking, like you find ways to remember those moments. And this is just the way a lot of us like to do it. But for some reason, a lot of us can't say it out loud that I'm doing it for myself. I feel like we're getting better about it. I feel like, you know, a lot of the, and maybe it's just the voice, like the overall voice of how people thought.
Society, yeah.
You know, and like you can't do things for yourself. You love to do it. When everybody in the family knows that mom likes to scrapbook for herself. Like that's her time. Yeah. Even though she's saying, "Oh, I want to make an album for you," and I'm not saying that kids don't love it and they it doesn't perish like that, you know. But it's like sometimes that going from that mentality of I'm scrapping for everybody else to I have to scrapbook for myself. It's like who wants? But that's really what our families want, right? They want to see us on those pages. They want to remember, because when we die, that's what they're going to have left of us. Mm-hmm. And that's with my grandmother dying this fall. That was something that I really thought of is one, she loved to take photos. She loved photo albums, and that was her thing. And that's how I know I got memory. Like it was that realization that, oh yeah, she was a scrapbooker at heart. Maybe she didn't use papers and stuff, you know. But that's where I got part of my love of documenting the holidays or the times. And really, when I think about her albums, I'm like, that's her. Even though she's probably, she hated being in photos. She hated it. I can hear her voice to this day about the camera. She hated the camera being on her. But that's how we remember, you know, that's how I remember those moments, is because that was my grandmother in those albums, even if she wasn't in the photos. So that's the thing that our family wants, and that is what is going to be make the most memories for everybody. Is that you're picking the moments that you cherished, that everybody else joined in with you on, right? So it's okay to say that you're doing it for yourself, but it is a process, right? Especially if that's not your first way of thinking. Like I went into because I needed a hobby for me. And so for me, a lot of it wasn't just, you know, everybody else. So for me, I haven't had that, but that's just me. And I hear so many other people talk about it the other way. So I think it's just that process and I'm sure that's probably where you were in, right? Yeah. And just figuring out, like, how do I go from that uncomfortable feeling of sharing so much about my life? Yeah. And then it's deciding how many times do you want to share your cup of coffee? How many times do you want to share your drive to work? How many times do you want to share these moments? And what moments do you really want to remember? Like, you probably don't want to remember all the frustrating times when you came home and the house is right? Or you know, you had a really nice holiday, but then everybody left you, you know, to clean it, or I don't know, or the dogs come in and getting the house all money, and you're the one who's doing all that work. Like, there's certain things that, like, how many of those things do you want to remember? So, and there is a lot less when it's just you and like your spouse or whatever. Or just you know, it's like there's a lot less moments with everybody else, and so you do kind of have to like be a little bit more selective. But then that really hones down the stories and the memories that people will have, because it's something that meant when you really take that time to do that. So, but anyway.
I totally agree.
You went on a tangent. Okay, so as we're talking about holiday memory keeping, let's kind of start going into the future of our goals and stuff. So do you plan on working throughout January on your December stuff? Or are you gonna switch to doing your whatever comes up?
So my plan as of right now is to start like
going through all the photos from the month, because with this December album, I've decided I just want to tell stories. I don't want to do December daily.
Yeah.
And
I know you mentioned that earlier.
yeah.
About it in the fall time. So
yeah. So I just want to go through all of the photos that I took and kind of pick out my favorites, and then just what stories I'm going to tell and what photos go with what. Because I do want to tell 25 stories at least. And then I also want to do I want to do it in order of when they happened, I think. And I guess the nice thing about just doing basic stories that happened in December is if there's multiple things that happen. So the weather, I could probably do 3 or 4 different days about the weather, but have it all on one page, and then just kind of talk about the weather and have a couple different photos from a couple different days or whatever. So you can kind of gather all of the photos with one topic, and then just have one page about that one topic. So I think that's what I'm probably going to spend this weekend doing, is going through photos, just ones I'm going to use and print them off. And then I probably will scrapbook the December album throughout this month. I just won't post it until the end of the year, probably.
Okay.
So,
that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
A way of doing it, getting it all done now and then having it pre-scheduled, so you have some content then if something were to happen or life were to get busy. I'm never the fact that I already have 3 videos scheduled for my channel, and I have 3 or 4 more videos that I need to schedule. That feels like a success already. So my gosh, I'm gonna have videos for almost the whole month, probably maybe. I think I'm gonna do every other day, so I don't bombard people with videos. But then I will have content for all of January. So I'm already excited. I already feel like I'm ahead of the game here.
That's exciting.
Which is not usually how my Decembers work. My December daily. Well, and because in the past I've worked on December daily through December, and so I would finish up towards the beginning of January, and then if I didn't finish it, it was done, and I was on to whatever other story, other stuff I wanted to do. But I always had content because I was scrapbooking so much. Where now I just don't know. I kind of mostly just doing it 1 or 2 days out of the week on the weekend. Or towards the end of the week, so which I'm fine, that's fine, but so I'm just gonna keep plugging along. I know I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the episode in this podcast, but I'll probably decide whether I want to keep working and finish or work a little bit more for next year or last year's album, 2024, or if I just want to kind of maybe do 1 or 2 spreads and then finish. I probably won't finish it. Knowing, I think because I already have ideas for some other stuff that I want to do too. So I don't want to. I know I will have a hard time going back and forth, and I already know that there'll be a little bit of back and forth, because that's where my brain kind of gets. It just gets too much. It's too cluttered in my brain. I gotta put away all the December stuff from my desk so that I can get this layout done. And I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me. And so that's just how I know I am. So when I'm done, I'm done. I pack it all up. My December stuff gets packed up and I'm cool. So, but and I don't want to go too far into February, because then people will get bored of December.
Right.
It's already through December too. So that is one of the that I'm thinking, but anyway. Okay, so what other goals and plans do you have for your new year?
I want to start scrapbooking more, definitely be more creative. I was a little bit more creative this past year than I have been in years past. but I still miss it a lot more. I want to
Mm.
make more time during the week to be creative,
Yeah.
and then on the weekends, like play catch up. And if I have videos I need to post, I'll probably start posting them on the weekends and doing that. And then I also want to start exercising, like being healthier this year. Just because I've gained a lot of weight since I got married in the last 6 months. So I kind of want to lose all weight again and just get healthier. Like I can feel it in my joints. That's why I'm wearing these gloves. They're copper gloves, and Ashley just got them. So they're supposed to
What are
help
they?
your copper. It's called
Oh,
Copper Fit.
okay.
I don't even know where she got them, but they're
Yeah.
like compression copper gloves, and they're supposed to
Huh.
help with
Now,
inflammation.
do you have to look into this? Is just a personal question. So if you don't want to answer this for all of YouTube, here, that's cool. Do you have to worry about how much copper gets absorbed in your skin through those?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I
I
should probably
only
look
ask
that up.
because, like me, I almost have my copper is almost too high. So, like, I would worry, and you can have a lot of issues if you have too high,
If you have too much.
especially
Yeah.
with arthritis-y stuff.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to look
Mhm.
into.
Yeah.
I was just gonna try them out and see if they help.
But I bet
my
that'll feel
hands.
for
Yeah.
the compression part of it, though. So
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah. They've been really like just painful.
see, I don't like compression on my fingers because when my
Oh.
fingers get really, and they've been actually like the fact that I can put my ring up this far is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, I have a spacer, okay, because when I had to have a spacer before because otherwise my ring would it would just twirl and twirl,
fall
or
off.
not
Yeah.
quite fall off, but almost.
Oh. Yeah.
And now in the mornings, especially, or when I use my fingers a lot, like I can't even move it at all. So I'm at the point where I almost have to take my spacer off, which makes me sad because when I'm not using it, like right now, it moves a little,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, it's just gonna start flipping. But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I don't like things really tight on my hands because I already can't move my hands. Like mine stuck almost in
Yeah.
a position like this. And I've had a lot of issues this winter
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
And I
But
noticed I have a lot more salt that makes like I notice more of a difference with
oh,
water.
interesting.
So
Huh. Yeah, I've had a lot more pain this year with my hands than in past years. So
well, and
just
you've always
trying.
used your fingers. So with work,
Yeah.
so
And that's the hard part is like if I can't use my hands, I can't work.
yeah.
I'm a phlebotomist. So
Well, then on top of that, you want a scrapbook. I know I've had
yes,
these
exactly.
or like it's sitting in my seat for too long.
Right.
It really messes with my back, and then I can't. Then I have a day where I
Yeah.
can't do anything. I've had that
That's
like early.
crazy. Yeah.
I take steroids because I was, and I say doing too much and do that much, but I worked and then I was in trying to get some stuff, scrapbooky stuff done. And so I noticed like if I don't give myself enough, like if I don't finish up too early, like I can't go too late, I should say. And so I hear you on the healthier goals here. But
yes. Yes,
mine
definitely.
is I think I just have to get my lupus under control. It's just still
Yeah.
mine is just my
out of whack.
is flaring. So
Yeah.
but okay, so you want to be creative more and move more and or be healthy, I should say.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, we're gonna finish the backyard this year because it's half done.
Mm-hmm.
And this winter/fall has been kind of crazy because it's just like half our backyard is just a mud pit. And so the dogs bring in all that dirt.
first, right?
So yeah. So this year we are gonna finish the backyard, and I'm super excited. So
Well, and it was looking really good. So
yeah. I'm really excited with how much we did accomplish last year. We just ran out of money
yeah,
because it doesn't
I
grow
know that's
on trees.
about those kinds of jobs. I know we
Yeah.
have a lot of little things that we're thinking that we might move at some point, and so like we have to
Yeah.
figure out what needs to get done versus we want to get done. Like what is smart to do, what is not worth doing, and that kind of stuff. Because my house it's just it's lived in, so you can't
Yeah.
just do like not to say that I haven't done stuff, but I've done minimal stuff because of the
Right.
position that I'm in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're just kind of trying to figure out like what we want and when we want to go, and like when is a good time. Like there's like so
Yeah.
many things that are not really known, but yeah, so I get that.
Yeah.
And you need to do a lot. And this
Mhm.
is a hard time for everybody.
It is. It really is. Oh gosh.
I know for me, I definitely want to be more consistent with my creativeness because I
Yes.
was doing pretty good, and then because I was I focus a lot on the Crafty Maven element side of things. I was scrapping less. And so this year I kind of want to balance that better. So I think each month is really going to be like a beta test, like, okay,
Mhm.
how is this working? Can I keep this up? Like, what do I need to change? And just be okay with, and I've been having to do this a lot this like fall into the winter. It's just because of my health is like some days I am having better days, and like the beginning of the month was horrible. And now I feel like I'm kind of figuring a little bit more out, but a lot, it's really like giving myself enough time to rest, which is
Right. Yeah.
exciting. I could scrapbook and rest, like, but I can't. Is the real thing is I can't. But I also want to be better about journaling the moments that I want to have or document. So I think I was thinking about this, like how could I do that, because my memory is really not that good anymore. That was one thing that's kind of my lupus decided it was going to take from me. So I think I want to do like traveler's notebooks for the month and like just kind of write down some things from the week that I want to remember that I want to document. And I can just keep that in my purse or next to my bed or whatever. And it doesn't have to be anything super complicated, but then I'm remembering things in real time as opposed to relying on my memory from photos. And I
Yeah.
definitely still want to continue to take more photos because I took a lot more this past year than I did in previous years, but I want to continue to be intentional about what photos I take.
Right.
So, and I think I
Awesome.
want to do a live stream a month. I think I want to,
Ooh.
I was like, well, now that I know that I have weekends, I really should be utilizing that and just taking an
Yeah.
hour or hour and a half or something and just work on a layout or something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so I thought that would be a fun way. What
Yeah.
also makes me have to create, but forces me to like
Right.
create and not get stuck in the wormhole of like editing or whatever. Because
Yeah.
that's one of the things about what we do as scrapbooker, YouTube scrapbookers or whatever,
YouTuber. Yeah.
is like there's that second element. It's not like we can, well, I mean we can, and I did. Well, I say that I did it really bad because I wasn't really scrapbooking most of the time. I
Right.
scrapbooked a little bit of the time and wasn't sharing, but I really like to share. So that's one thing that I think for me.
Definitely.
Are there things that you do to help you be more intentional about sticking to your goals for the year, or are you just, I have these goals, especially creative ones,
Yeah.
and if like somehow it tails out, like, do you come back to it? Do you just go, well, when the new year starts, I'll start it again? Like, how do you try to go about doing that?
Well,
Scrapbooky wise or like creative wise.
yeah, this year I'm actually going to do, I think I'm going to do more face-to-face videos and kind of just to kind of show up for my intentions. I'm actually calling my goals intentions this year because I'm kind of wondering if that word change will make it different, because a lot of times I make goals and then it's like by the middle of the year, sometimes even earlier, it's like they've totally slipped your mind. You don't do anything with them. And this year, like, I really want to show up for my goals. And I really do intend to accomplish all of these things this year. And so I actually recorded a face-to-face video, I think yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. And so I'm going to post that, I think, next week. But I have like a list of things for each goal that I want to do. And depending, like the backyard, you know, finishing the backyard, obviously we live in Idaho, so we can't really do a lot right now. But I mean, there are little things like I can make appointments with companies and stuff right now. So like doing all of those things. Yeah.
A lot of behind the prep work that you want to do anyway. But with sometimes I know, just as people, we get so excited. We jump in without well, okay, I shouldn't say that. There are some people who like plan and plan and plan and plan and plan, and that's great. I'm happy that those people can plan so much
that
I am not. Because I know I tried to think of my goals this year as, okay, this is, and the way I was thinking about it, because one, I hate the fact that every new year we have to talk about goals. Like we've not had goals the whole time, right? It's just that part of you that's like, this is ironic, isn't it? It's just is. But then I got thinking about it and how can I think about it differently this year, you know, and not just be like, oh, this is stupid because I'm going to make things and then things are going to change, you know, because life changes. And so I went back to what was I wanting to accomplish last year? When I did that first video, when I first started coming back to scrapbooking, I like sharing consistently, what were some of the things that I really wanted to do and accomplish? And that's kind of how I started forming my ideas and go, okay, well, how can I change it a little bit, with the thought that each month I kind of want to go into it going, okay, what do I need to change to make this easier for myself or better for myself? Or can I add something? Do I need to take something away? Because that was part of my problem last year, is that I went in, I was so excited. I was able to do a lot. And then I decided, oh, I'm going to give myself more to do, but it was a little too much for what one person could do. Right. To start off with, to like in my condition. And, oh my gosh. Sorry. we have a few more minutes.
Okay.
So I was thinking, like, how can I help so that doesn't happen again? I don't give myself too much, but I continue to build that momentum if it's there, if I'm able to do it. So that's why a lot of my goals, I tried to just like kind of keep working on the stuff I was working on and maybe add a little something or kind of change it a little bit to fit where I'm at now, going, okay, this is where I'm at. And I know we've talked a lot about this throughout 2025, about being realistic, about what you can do. And a lot of that was stuff that I had to remind myself, like, how do I be realistic with knowing I want to show up for the community? It's one of the things that I love the most about what we do. But I can't show up if I'm not consistent. I can't show up if I'm not, you know, like prepared, I guess. And so a lot of this, I think, will be like almost admin stuff for myself, in the sense of being more prepped, right? Which is not like me. I hate it. But apparently this is the theme. And maybe I should find that as my word, because I was trying to decide if I wanted to have a word or not. And I don't know. But really, it's doing the prep work of, that backbone stuff, like I said, like journaling, so that when I come in, I have the stuff. I don't have to go back through, little things like on my off time, actually going through my photos and editing them. Not like when I want to go and scrapbook and then go, oh yeah, I meant to edit these, So like those little things of going, okay, I can do that. I can do 5 minutes, and just remembering that I can just do a few minutes. Like I don't have to make it a big project. Because that's one thing that I like to do, is make it a big project if I can.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know that seems to help. And I'm hoping the momentum just comes with it, because it did last year. And that was the thing that I was thinking. Like, I got on that train and I went there. It was just life circumstances happen. And so you kind of have to be ready for those too. And you can't do that without the prep work, right? You can't do that without being able to pivot, as Ross said, pivot.
Yes, pivot.
So we have to pivot sometimes, because life will hand us something that we're not expecting, like 2025. Just in general, 2025 was a pivot year.
Yes, and it was.
We're pivoting. And 2026 is going to be amazing. And we're going to get more accomplished because we're doing the prep work now. So let's do the prep work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I was thinking about that too, because kind of thinking, I don't always pick a word. Like I think last year I picked a phrase, and I don't even remember what the phrase was.
Was that the word?
Yes.
Was that the phrase, let them, or was that the year before?
No, that was last year. You're right. I was thinking, I think it's let them, but yeah.
That didn't go so well.
That didn't go so well. And I'm still working on that, but it's fine. Like you said, you have
can
to
work
pivot
on it this year too. You don't have to let go of the phrases and the words that you had last year. Guys, you don't have to let go of the words and phrases that you had last year. You can still hold them
very true.
And make room for another phrase that also, or word that fits you.
Yes.
Or are like Hannah and you don't come up with a word, that's fine too.
Yes, that's fine too. Yeah. So I haven't really decided if I want to pick a word, but if I do, it'll probably be something like consistent or focused, or I don't know, something to just kind of.
I thought you said intention, and I really like that. That was my word. When I tried to do one little word,
Did you?
Oh, this is not. It's super daily. See, that's what happened to my one little word. But intention was my word, because I wanted to be intentional about the things that I was doing. And you know what? Like that, I remember that I picked that word. So there's that, right? So there is,
and maybe you were a little bit more intentional that year. Just a little.
I'm sure I was. I was very productive that year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the years I've been intentional. It's just some years I'm less intentional than others.
Yeah.
So
it happens.
What I'm intentional about, you didn't ask. So that is no question.
Right.
I was intentional about sitting on the couch and reading, or I don't know, watching TV and play, like taking my mind off of other things, right? So
it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to wrap up with any tips that we have about like having a successful year or being successful with our goals and intentions?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I think the best tip is, because this past year I've talked a lot and tried to give a lot of nuggets of truth, for myself. So if anybody else got those nuggets, yay. If that's fine, you can tell me some nuggets and I'll share those too. I am more than willing to take the nuggets. Which is why it was so nice to have like other people on the podcast, you know, when you weren't.
Yes.
So it wasn't just
Yes.
saying things though.
Right.
So, but okay. So with that, I'm going to give this story, because I remembered it as we were talking here about the podcast and having other people. But there was one day where my husband came home and he was watching something, or he was listening to Spotify. That's what it was. And we had subscribed with his account on to Spotify for the Crafty Maven. And he was listening to something and it switched over to the podcast. And at first he didn't realize. And then he was like, this person sounds familiar. And then he realized, and he said, it really made me smile. And he was like, it was very like inspirational and, you know, all that stuff. Nice stuff that women say when they're, you know, when they love you and, and they're really trying to encourage you, right, to keep doing these things. So I say that to say, because it really made, it kind of was like the icing on the cake. I know everybody in the community loves to listen to us and stuff, but sometimes having that reminder that we do know what is good for us, what is best for us. So I think my tip is remember to listen to yourself and remember to give yourself enough credit, right? And I think sometimes I don't do that. Even I don't, you know, it's like I get a little down. I was just talking to you earlier, I think today, you probably haven't listened to it yet, about how I was just a little bit sad that this past year, especially the last half of the year, which granted I haven't been consistent, so I know that's a lot of my problem, but this past year my views are not anything like they used to be. And they started off, I would have like 80 or 100, which I'm so thankful for anybody who listens, but lately, and like some of my videos even towards the middle or beginning of the year were like 30. And I'm like, that's kind of disappointing, because
Very. Yes.
I had a fan base and I know like all these things, but then so it's easy to get down on myself, right? Because I didn't get accomplished what I wanted. Things went off the rails. I didn't put in the work that I knew I should have, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, when I hear, you know, my husband say, you were inspiring, and I really like, I don't even scrapbook and I got something out of it. Remind that I know like what I'm talking about for myself, right? And that's to go back and say, like, I say a lot of this stuff in the podcast when we talk. It's that reminder for myself that like I'm feeling like this is my joy and I'm filling my cup when I do these fun things. And like, even when life derails itself and I don't post when I want, or I don't get accomplished in my room what I want because I got to clean my desk, you know, that kind of thing, that I know at the end of the day, I really do know what's best for myself. And so I want to give that tip to everybody, is that you know what is best for yourself in your scrapbooking. And so you have to give yourself credit for what you were able to accomplish with what you were given and where you're at, because we're all at different points. We're all at different seasons. We all have different skills, and we all have to grow those skills. Like, none of us in the scrapbooking community and the world
right
where we are without practicing and learning something, right? Some of us have to practice a little bit harder at certain other things, right? So I might be able to create a amazingly beautiful mixed media background that you could do, Megan. And you know what? There's other things that you do that I for sure can't do, or I really have to practice at it, you know? Like, I'm not good at finishing albums. You're so good at like having the ideas of the albums. You're good at being like really, I say prepared, but like really being organized. See, now my brain's really being organized.
I get what
and I am not like that. Like, I mean, this is the most organized that I am. It really is. And that's the business. And then if you go and look over a little bit, you can see all the really crazy, and it's because they're in iris containers, and it's like, anyway. So it's like, I know I have my strength, and I can do the things that I want to accomplish. So it's like giving myself the grace, but the like knowing that it's okay if I just got, because I really enjoyed that thing that I did. And that's really like some stuff I've had to remember this season, as I have these days where I can't create because I'm so sore. I'm too sore to sit at my desk. I'm too sore to move my hands, or I'm sick or whatever. Is that whatever I was doing, or when I had the chance to be in my room, I need to enjoy it to its fullest, right? So
yes. Yeah. Well,
so
and to go along with that, I was going to say, I think my biggest thing, because as I was writing out my intentions and my goals for this year, one thing that I kept going back to was to give myself grace. And like, I want to accomplish all of these things and I want to do these things, but I don't want to be stressed if I'm not sticking to it or anything like that, which I think is always the part about goals that I don't like. So like, if I hit the intention for like a couple weeks and then I take a break, that's okay. And like, nobody's gonna die. Like, I'm, like kind of refocusing and realizing, yes, this is something I want to do and I love doing this, but it's okay also to take a break, to give myself grace. Like, especially with like the health stuff, because I haven't really been exercising over the last couple of years. I know once I get back into it, I'm going to be sore. I'm going to, and like, it's okay to take a break. So if I go walk, with the dog, I think that's my biggest goal, is just to take my dog for a walk, for like 15 minutes a day for like maybe a couple months until I can kind of.
That's what my exercise was.
Yeah. And that's
honestly,
better than nothing
you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
At least,
Yeah. And like, that's okay. Like, if I do get to a point where I'm like, okay, I feel like I can do more than 15 minutes of exercise or something, like give myself that grace that I know I need, that will help my health, that will keep me from going crazy. Like, giving myself grace and love and kindness, like we give other people in our lives, because we're our own worst critic. And I don't know why, because we are amazing. We are really good at doing all of these things, like being moms, being daughters, being just showing up for everybody else. We're so good about it. So it's like, okay, give myself this grace. Like, this is what I need today. And I think, like you were saying, check-ins are going to be important. So whether it's like on a weekly, a daily, a monthly basis, like just checking in and making sure that I am giving myself grace. I'm doing all of these things, and I'm not stressing myself out more. I think that, for me at least, like, I think that's going to be important for me, is being okay with how it goes.
Well, I definitely think, like, even to translate it more towards creativeness, sometimes we give ourselves grace. We're like, oh, I didn't complete this project. Like we started off talking about, holiday catch up. It's not, it's like giving ourselves grace that it's not about accomplishing every single little goal. Like, yes, we want to have things to look forward to say, yeah, I did this. And some people need those goals more than other people. But it's showing up to your desk. That is what matters. How you use that time is only you know what's best for you in that moment, whether it's playing, whether it's organizing, whether, it's like just looking at your product. Sometimes I just have time. I just go in my room and I love to look through stuff.
Mhm.
When I first came back to scrapbooking, that was one of the coolest things is looking through all of my old products, going, "Oh my gosh, I remember this! Like I remember how much I love it," you know. And
Mhm.
so yeah, it's like giving yourself that grace that like it's not what you accomplish, it's showing up.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
We're never going to be caught up.
No.
Newsflash, you're never caught up.
Yep.
There's always stuff to do in your
Oh yeah, definitely.
scrap space. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, Megan. Thank you everyone
Yeah.
for joining us. With that said, if you guys have some goals or things that you want to work on this year, let us know below. Or if you have things that you are doing, like tell us what you're working on. Like are you working on December dailies still? Are you starting the new year? Are you gonna do Project Life like me? Like who knows how that's gonna go? It'll probably that be in like a month and then I'll be done with it, but who knows?
Who
So
knows?
yeah, so are you strict with your goals? Are you not? I want to hear what everybody else thinks. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And I have no idea,
Yeah.
but we'll find something.
Yep. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Yay.
Year, everybody. Bye.
Bye.